Today, we're looking at the Microfreak's unique keyboard.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Healersaurus. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So, as you can see, today we've got the Arturia Microfreak on the desk here, and even though this keyboard is, over 2 years old now, I did some looking around, and I can't find too many videos talking about its very, very unique keyboard, or should I say keybed. And it's interesting because I've seen quite a few comments of people asking questions about the keybed on the Microfreak, but yeah, like I said, I can't find a ton of content here on YouTube about it. So I figured today we would simply look at the keyboard, and I will kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on it after having this keyboard for about a year and a half now, which is crazy. Also, for the purposes of this video, I will be demonstrating the keyboard just by using a preset initialized bass patch, which sounds like this in monophonic. And like this in paraphonic. Cool. So the keyboard itself is actually a key bed. It's one panel. It's completely flat. The keys themselves do not move independently of one another, but rather where you touch them determines which note plays. So no, they are not real keys. However, Arturia has included these dividers between all of the keys, which are black, and they're just raised just a hair, so that when you play, you can actually tell the difference between the keys with your finger. This actually works quite well because it allows you to keep your knowledge of where you are on the keyboard, but it lets you play really, really fast. Like, I am not a keyboard player at all, but because the key is counted as struck as soon as there's any sort of contact with your skin and the key, you get immediate feedback of what note you're on, and you can play really, really fast. So again, I'm not a piano player, but let's go ahead and try to play like I Am a Viking by Yngwie Malmsteen. Not bad considering I'm holding the camera with the other hand. You can see it's really easy to glide around the keyboard and play notes pretty quickly. Now, that being said, the black keys are raised just a hair. And you may have seen some comments of people calling this keyboard a cheese grater. And I believe that those comments are referring to the black keys, because the edges of the black keys, like I said, are raised, but they feel just the slightest bit sharp, which is funny because those are the sharp notes and flat notes, but yeah. So doing something like this, if you were to do it really quickly and with a lot of pressure down, which is bad technique anyway, but that would hurt your finger, definitely. Yeah, that would definitely hurt your finger. But you probably shouldn't be trying to do your slides like that anyway. That's just not really good form on any sort of keyboard. Again, because that the key is counted as struck as soon as there's contact between the key and your skin, you don't really have to apply any pressure at all. So you could still just barely brush them. And you can hear I'm getting all those notes. Super easy. So cool. Now, another huge feature of the Microfreak's keybed is the ability to use it as a modulation source. So if we go up here to the patch bay, let's go ahead and go to the key press section and set that to, how about filter cutoff? I'm going to set it to 50% so we can hear. So now, when I strike the key, depending on how much of my finger is on the key, we will actually be able to modulate said parameter. In this case, again, filter cutoff. Now, one thing I want to draw some attention to is this little design of the keys here. As you can see, on some of the keys I've used more frequently here, like this middle D, the pattern is starting to wear off. Now, I actually do not know if the pattern itself is conductive or if it's just literally the key. That's really not my wheelhouse, not my department of expertise at all. I do know that the modulation seems to work just fine. You know, if we compare it to a key that's super, like, fresh and clean, like top C here. They seem to be about the same. But that is something you might want to note. If you are thinking about this keyboard, the design definitely does start to wear off over time. The last thing I want to address is paraphonic mode and playing chords. This is where the Microfreak's keyboard can be a little bit tricky to use. Trying to frame up chords one-handed without any sort of tactile feedback can be difficult. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that modulation real quick. You really have to focus on what chords you want to play. And if you want to do any more complicated chords, then it can get really tricky. Like, I don't know, here we go. You can hear I had to kind of feel around for where I was on the keyboard at first there, just to reach that 7th. Now, all of this being said, I absolutely love the Keybed on the Microfreak, just for that speed of play that I showed off, you know, at the beginning of the video. You can really just fly around this thing. And for someone like me who is not a, you know, trained pianist or anything like that, it's really nice to feel like I have a little bit of speed on the keys. Super fun. Now, of course, if you don't like the Keybed, there is Midi in on the back of the Microfreak. You can use an external controller and still get access to the amazing synthesis that lives inside this box. And actually, the key press modulation, when you're using an external keyboard, that actually turns into aftertouch. So you don't even lose the functionality of pressing the keys. It just, you know, as long as your keyboard controller has aftertouch, like a key step or key step 37, you still gain access to that as a modulation source, which is super cool. So yeah, like I said, overall, I really love the Microfreak keyboard. However, I can totally understand folks who do not. If you are in any way a trained classical keyboardist or pianist, or if you have really any experience with a full proper piano at all, this will take some getting used to, and it probably won't be your favorite keyboard. But for everyone else, I think it's a really solid option, and if the Keybed is the only thing keeping you from picking up a Microfreak, I'd definitely go for it. And by the way, the price of the Microfreak keeps going up and up, so if you are on the fence about it, probably get one sooner than later. I think this thing is going to be a classic as Arturia continues to update it with new oscillators. I think we're, at like 15 oscillator types now? Crazy. So I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, of course, you can always hit that dislike button. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.